Good morning and welcome again to the service of Unity of Boerne. If this is your multiple times of visiting, if it's your first time, we really welcome you. This is a place, I say this is a house that loves it. And there's so many of you that are tuning in to see it from not only in our area, but in other states and even other countries. We're blessed by it and I hope it blesses you. And if it does, I ask for you to give your most generous support to this ongoing, expanding ministry. This is something that we have thought about and talked about and dreamt about and affirmed about for years, that we expand, that the love that this place is reaches out and touches the world. If you are moved to do so, I ask you to press the PayPal button on your page or send your best gift to Unity of Boerne, P.O. Box 1973, Boerne, Texas 78006. Again, that's Unity of Boerne, P.O. Box 1973, Boerne, Texas 78006. And now I invite you to come join this family as we have Celebration Sunday, where we think about and celebrate the things that have happened that are wonderful in our life. There's always something to celebrate. I ask you today to sit back right now and think about those things. Think on these things and they expand.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity of Boerne. I do have a few announcements for you this morning. I think we were late on getting our March and April daily words, but I think they're back on the back desk. Take one of those when you go. So we missed it by one day, but they're back there. Who knows what next week is?
Daylight savings.
Oh, time change.
Yes.
That goes back to the way I like it, so it's good for me, but anyway, remember. Let's see. Anybody here for the first time?
We got 3 hands.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We don't want to embarrass anybody. Could we get you to stand and just tell us who you
Yeah,
are
we
and where
do.
you came from?
Oh, we have to stand.
I'm Belinda, and I live by Old Tunnel State Park.
Oh, nice.
And this is my beautiful friend and neighbor, Janice.
And I'm Janice, and this is my beautiful friend. I was sort of a Unity dropout. I went a long, long time ago, and it's just time to come back
Oh,
again.
you're dropping in.
To
Yes.
go in Kerrville.
Oh, super.
But we live closer now, so I'm glad to be here.
Nice to have you.
I'm Mary, and
Mary.
I used to go to Unity in Las Vegas, and I moved here recently. So.
All right, all you old timers out there, what is this?
It's a yellow piece of paper.
Oh, it's a touch card. So we used to do this, and I'm going to try and maybe think about bringing it back.
What is it?
It's a touch card.
Okay.
So the way this works is it's got touch card 2, you put the person's name, write them a quick note, get it over to the office, Patricia sends them out to that person. So like if there's somebody that you've seen that's been missing for a while, like Diane Taylor hasn't been able to come to service for a little while, you write Diane's name on there, write her a quick note, hey, we miss you, blah, 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 and get it over to the office and it goes out to that person. So they're out on the back shelf over there. So I don't know, we used to do it. So let's see, maybe we try it and see how it goes, see if people like it. Anyway, they're back there. I will refer you to your order of service for all the classes and activities that are going on. Some of those are virtual, some of those are in person. We are always collecting dry goods and toiletries for Boerne Family Services. We're doing pretty good at that, so let's keep that going. We're going to have to kind of
Somewhere in your phone.
Celebration Sunday, so we're going to have our announcements a little bit shorter, but anybody know something I don't know? Nothing of importance? Ladies' lunch is coming up, I think, the week after next.
Oh.
Think about that. Jay has something?
I wanted to tell you all, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but we have a Monday evening book study that right now is a very, I don't know how to say, intimate and loving group of people. And we want to see it expand just like our Course in Miracles is expanding on Wednesday nights so much. I think that what sometimes we forget, because there's a book study that here on Sunday morning, but there is one on Monday evening at 8 p.m. It's on Zoom. All you have to do is just click the button and sign in, and we'd love to see anybody who would love to come. Where right now we are studying Conscious Union with God by Joel Goldsmith, and we're almost through with that. We'll be choosing another book. We'd like to have input. So if you would like to do that, please see me. I'll tell you more about it if you want to. You go to our Facebook page, and you'll see how to come in. Yes, ma'am.
They can take the insert out of the program too. It's got the information on it.
That's right. Oh, I didn't know that. So take the insert, and that'll give you all the information that you need, and you don't have to worry about all the stuff like this stuff. Thank you.
All right, we're going to stand here. We do our celebration song. India, we're going to sing something.
It's a special day.
All right.
Something is occurring, something is stirring, something of the Spirit blesses me today. In Jesus for me, totally transforming, something of the Spirit blesses me today. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. I'm just provided, I am being guided. Something of the Spirit blesses me with life. Now it does with bringing to the good I'm needing. Something of the Spirit blesses me with life. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. I sense my blessing, and it's blessing. Something of the Spirit, gloriously good. Every trouble ceases, all my joy increases. Something of the Spirit blesses me with good. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way.
Well done. While you're sitting down, find somebody close to you and say, you look fantastic.
You look fantastic.
You look fantastic. You look fantastic.
You are marvelous. Hey, you are marvelous.
Hey, hey.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, Linda's going to come read the daily word for us.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I can tell.
As we quietly and gently prepare for the reading of the daily word, we remember that we are in spirit with millions of daily word readers in churches throughout the world. The Christ candle is lit as a reminder of the Spirit of God within all of us, which we call the Christ within. And the word for today is positivity. And the affirmation, through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. I've heard it said most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. These words show me the importance of positivity and how an upbeat attitude can keep me afloat upon the rough waters of life. Positivity helps me see the world as full of joy and possibility. Difficulties may arise, but my confident faith in the goodness of God gives me the power to cross the stormy seas, to find calm waters and the warmth of sunshine. The light of God surrounds, enfolds, and uplifts me. When I center my thoughts on the divine within, I feel equipped to meet all challenges. God's indwelling grace sees me through the stormy days. Even if squalls of sadness toss me about, by faith I will outlast the gales and reach calm seas again. The scripture comes from Proverbs 4, verse 23. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. Again, the affirmation, if you'd like to say it with me.
Through positivity, I can do all things through God's presence within me.
My name's Linda, and I thank you all for joining us in worship today.
Thank you.
We're going to stand together for our call to the faith. You're going to put that together.
I affirm God's power flowing through me right now, in this moment, and know it is done to me as I believe, and so it is.
We're going to stay standing. We're going to sing our joy song.
Amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear when I first believed. Many dangers, toils, and snares I have already passed. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far to freedom that will last.
Well done, well done. We're going to stay right there for a minute. We're going to do our mission statement.
A vibrant, loving, spiritual community, providing a sacred space for personal growth. We honor and celebrate the Christ within all people.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. Good morning. And a special welcome to you who are with us for the first time, whether you're tuning in and you're here in person. You're in, and I have a prejudicial feeling here, you're in the greatest place you could be this morning. This is a place where love flows freely, abundantly, and we believe in the power of united prayer. And right now I invite you to bring the requests known that you have inside. You bring them known, which they already are, to the God presence within you, but you have to surrender the lesser part of your understanding to the greater understanding of the God that is within you, loves you, and understands everything that's on your heart. There are people today that are every part of the spectrum that are suffering, and those that are in joy, and all those in the middle. Right now, you may be feeling that all at one time. I invite you to take the prayer slip that's in the middle of your bulletin. Sherry comes forward. We'll wait for you to write it down. If you would rather just keep it in your heart, that's fine too. Whatever. These prayer requests are prayed over by myself and then sent to Silent Unity, and then I have a ritual that I do with them that I have said before, that just something I like to do. I burn them and I place the ashes out here in the beautiful trail that is behind our church. And if you'd like to send some in just for that reason, you who watch, that's perfectly fine too. Thank you, Sherry. And right now, I invite you to assume the attitude that you have when you are most at peace, and to know that in quietness and confidence shall be your strength. infinite and loving presence, this morning we know that there are people that are enduring everything from upset and pain and frustration to joy, abundance, and happiness. We know that you are principle, but you are also the love that we live by. You are the friend that sticketh closer than a brother. We affirm that what needs to be handled in the lives of these dear ones is now being worked out for their highest good and the highest good of all concerned. We affirm your sweet, loving presence to those who need it this morning. Your perfect will is done. We affirm it. And those that look to you for strength and guidance, are abundantly touched, abundantly filled. Those who doubt this morning, we ask that you appear to them as the certainty by which they live. There are those that have lost hope. And we know that you are the God not only of the second, third, and fourth, but infinite chance. There's no place we can go to flee from your presence, nor would we want to. We affirm that sweet, loving presence and that sweet touch on those who need it the most right now. We give thanks that you are the light by which we live and which we walk our path. This is so. Amen.
Amen. This is a song I wrote, and I brought it this morning to go with today's message about letting your joy be full. And I also realized it goes with the daily word for today about being as happy as we allow ourselves to be. It's called Why Not Just Be Happy? I was surprised to wake this morning, happy without a reason why. My hair's in my face and I'm not organized yet, but I feel good, I feel alive. I have a choice to get hung up and doubt it, yet I think to myself, why not just allow it? Why not just be happy where I stand? Why not just be happy and let my heart dance? Why not just be happy with no plan? Why not just be happy because I can? I turn off the TV and tune into me. Who am I now? What is my next dream? I don't need the news to know what's vital. I am living to what's happening. This moment is a gift, let it be worth it. No need to wait, this is my day, it's perfect. Why not just be happy where I stand? Why not just be happy and let my heart dance? Why not just be happy with no plan? Why not just be happy because I can?
Oh, yeah.
So today happens to be Celebration Sunday. So birthdays, anniversaries, a healing of some kind. You made a new friend. Finally got rid of an old friend. You did some spring cleaning. I think we've had our last freeze. You're planting a garden. Oh boy, everybody on the fence? Oh, Maria, I got Maria. Oh, I got Laura. Yeah. You up or you down?
Oh, no, it's just adjusting.
Your name.
My name is Chris.
What are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating a birthday. Not my birthday, but my grandson's birthday. He's one of my younger grandchildren, and he will be 16 18.
Oh,
My goodness.
driving.
That's one of those ages.
Where does he live?
He lives in San Antonio.
Oh, good.
Yep. And his birthday's easy to remember. He was born the day before St. Patrick's Day.
Awesome. Your name?
My name is Sherry.
Sherry, what are you celebrating?
I am celebrating two things. First one, I am celebrating my birthday as of tomorrow. 73 trips around the sun.
Oh, my God. All right.
And my other one is especially special. Kimmy broke her first board in karate this week.
Oh!
I'm so excited for her. because
Say how old she is.
She's 8 years old.
What did she say about that?
She
was
is-
going, oh, I'm sorry.
She's
Going to
just-
Greenville.
She's really going crazy with the idea, but it builds her confidence more than anything else.
How funny.
You know, and she's looking forward to breaking another one soon.
We'll break away.
No,
Your name?
oh, aboard. Aboard.
I'm Maria.
What are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating this day. I'm just glad to be here. A lot of things have been happening within the last 3 weeks. But you know what? I'm celebrating that we have a God that is all powerful and mighty and able to be with us whenever we need assistance and guidance and even a little bit of wisdom, you know, to carry forth and do the things that need to be done. I'm also celebrating that this month is Jeff and I, my husband, are going to be celebrating our anniversary. So we'll be married 37 years.
Wow.
You know,
Awesome.
so that's really awesome. It's a good day. I'm celebrating the day. Just when I came in here today, and it was just amazing the way everything came together, and it just brought me such joy. That's why I'm teary. It's not so much because of the, you know, the sadness, because like I said, God was with me, but it's mostly because of the joy. I just felt it all coming together. You know, the music, it's beautiful. The music, the reading, and just everything, the words that our spiritual leader was saying, the presence. I just felt this beautiful presence that was here. And I'll tell you the truth, I was kind of doubting. I said, why do I keep going to this place that's so far away? And especially since we've been, within the last 3 weeks, I've been doing a lot of traveling because I had to go see my brother in Terrell, Texas. We made 2 trips for that, 3 trips for Abilene. Like yesterday, we went again to go to Vega. That's another thing I'm celebrating. That was in our prayer request for my mother-in-law's surgery. It went really well, and they found a place for her to get the therapy that she's going to need. So we were there yesterday. So we made another trip. So I've been traveling a lot, and I'm going all the way to Boerne. But I'm glad I'm here. I'm so glad I'm here.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Your name?
My name is Ann.
And what are you celebrating?
I am celebrating my birthday. It blows me away how many people were born in 52.
Ah!
I'm right behind you by 6 days. Next Sunday will be my birthday, 73 also.
Awesome.
My mom too.
Awesome. Oh, good. Good. Your name?
Laura,
Laura, what are you celebrating?
Tuesday is my birthday.
Big present, isn't it?
Yeah.
How come we're all ladies? What's wrong with the guys? No guys up here. We'll fix that next month.
They only had girls in
We rock.
Hold your hands up to these fine people, wave your fingers, say we honor your celebrations.
We honor your celebrations.
And we're assured the best is yet to come.
We're assured the best is yet to come.
Hey!
Yeah.
You can, you gotta take it home.
I don't think so.
In the midst of its children, doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3, and I feel the same sweet spirit I felt oft times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in His place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
And now this is the time in our service where we turn within, where we meet the God of our understanding. We may have done this multiple times. This may be the first time. But the presence is always there. The light shines for you and in you. And right now in the upcoming silence, I affirm that what needs to be made known to you is, and that you feel the peace that passes all misunderstanding, that you're touched by grace. In this silence, great things fashion themselves. Answers come to questions that you may not even know you have. This is a time where divine inspiration comes into you because you quiet your human voice and you listen for the higher intonations of spirit. Right now, I affirm this is happening for you in the silence. know that what we need to have made known to us is being revealed right now. We are open and receptive and ready in this new moment, experiencing the blessings of a new beginning, a new understanding, most of all, a new peace that is part of our lives and blesses us as we go forward. We claim all good things right now, in this moment. And it is so. What a wonderful group of people in front of me. You know, the energy that I soak up here, I hope it goes both ways. I know it does. And that you're receptive to it, because I'm in this work because I love it. I love people. Most of all, I love the truth that we speak in this church and indeed throughout all of New Thought. And you're a blessing to me. And I thank you, and those that tune in, you are also, and welcome. This is the month that we talk about strength as one of the powers that Charles Fillmore wrote about in his book, The 12 Powers of Man. The disciple that is correspondent with this power of strength is Andrew, and the color is light blue, or something like approximating this tie. I know, I've got a friend out here who just hates my ties. But understand, I try to get it right here. This is approximately the color, and we'll be changing the candle next week. But color, and these things may seem like they're small, but they matter, because there is healing in all things. There's healing in color and sound and light. There's healing in the memory of what Charles Fillmore wrote about 100 years ago when he talked about the 12 powers of us, corresponding to the 12 disciples, and the 12 energy centers that are in us. Inner strength is one that can be difficult for a lot of folks, because it looks different to each person, to what they're going through and what they feel they can accomplish themselves. If, for instance, I had to do everything that was given to me under my own power, I believe that I would have stumbled many times. But when I surrendered to the God force within me, when I asked that presence to fill me, when really what I did was recognize what was there by getting my human misunderstanding out of the way and claiming divine understanding. Reminds me of the little boy that was outside trying to push a big rock. His father was standing there and watching him. And the little boy finally gave up. He said, looked at his father and said, I can't do this. I've used up all my strength. And the father said, no, you haven't. You haven't asked me. And how many boulders do we push along in our lives on our own, thinking we can't do it because we haven't asked the power and the presence that freely and lovingly and beautifully resides in each one of us. I never understood the theology, the catechism, the dogma, the idea of making people feel small when they approach the divine. You are God's most magnificent creation. Anybody, any minister, anybody who stands up where I am or in any position of authority and says anything less to you is misinformed and under a misapprehension about who and what you, me, all of us really are. You are the light of the world. You're the salt of the earth. I've said it so many times. Think about that. You cannot hide your light under a bushel. Well, you can, but eventually it wants to get out. It seeks expression. And what happens is, if we listen to the egoic promptings, we walk into a world where we're not listening to our higher self. We're looking for validation here, there. Somebody will tell me I'm good. Somebody will be with me for a while. There's a somebody or a group of somebodies that I can be with that makes me feel like I'm on purpose. And what happens? We go and join a group of like-minded somebodies, and oftentimes it is in what we call traditional church that says, you have to remember you're a sinner born in sin and needing, get this, born sick and commanded to be well under the penalty of eternal hellfire. Isn't that something to say about the divine? You've got 30, 50, 80, maximum 110 years. But if you don't get it right, God's going to love you that whole time and await for you for homecoming. And at the minute you go, if you haven't made the right choice, down you go. Into the everlasting pit. Is it any wonder, everlasting pit of fire, as they say, is it any wonder that thinking people that are listening to their highest intentions inside have rejected this as a product of outmoded and worn out ideas about who we are? The world has had enough pain. We've learned everything we can through suffering. The human story has been reenacted countless times, over and over again, generationally. You know, Joseph Murphy, who wrote The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which is, I'm telling you, read that book, you've got the ideas pretty down pat of what we talk about. He talked about the idea that people hear things not only audibly, but in their spirit. I've talked about vibrations. You know the vibrations when you walk into the room of any particular place, and I hope that when you walk in here, you're as uplifted as I am, that you feel the love surround you. But there are places that you could walk into, you almost feel that, I feel uncomfortable here. Something's not right here. Can you imagine the massed mind power of people who feel that they are born sick, commanded to be well, and that they are sinners in need of grace, saved only by the slaying of Jesus Christ? Now, it's not up to me this morning to go into a deep discussion of the blood sacrifice and the theology that's associated with it. I love talking about it. Indeed, it's been my life for 20 years. I've spoken for 35 years, but in those 35 years, I wasn't speaking particularly theologically until I was called to ministry in 2007. And then I had quite some lively conversations about this. There are folks that believe that if you don't get it right this time around, you're going down for good, forever, tortured. I don't believe that in their hearts they really believe in a God like that. I don't think I could sleep at night. If I thought that's the way it really was, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing. I guess I could believe in a God like that. I guess I maybe could work for a God like that. But I couldn't love a God like that. And love, as we know, is the sine qua non of what Jesus taught. This is the love that he is, was the coming together of everything in the past. All the law, all the prophets, all this. What does this have to do with inner strength? It has to do with the fact of knowing who you are. standing in your own power, knowing, kind of drawing yourself up to your full stature and saying, I am a child of the Most High. I am deserving and well able to do that which I am called to do. This is what New Thought affirms. This is what unity at its best affirms. Science of mind, Christian Science. I don't care what label you put on. There are some liberal Protestant churches that are affirming things that we talk about right now. As you know, there's always been a division in religion. There's been a division in politics. These are difficult subjects for many people, but they're not difficult for me because I am seeking constantly to bring folks together. Lo, if anyone lack understanding, let him come to the one who gives freely. And the understanding is, you are it. There is nothing that is a surprise to the God that made you. Nothing about you. It may surprise your self-opinion, your self-appraisal. You may blanch at some things that you, oh, I didn't know that was in there. I've had this so long and I've kept it quiet. I dare not tell anybody about this. I'm embarrassed by it. I've got news for you. The God within knows you and loves you anyway. Jesus Christ called forth the best in everybody that crossed his path. He didn't point to this. Think about the woman caught in the act of adultery. There was no condemnation in Jesus about that. Not, and matter of fact, quite the reverse. It was, you men who are ready to stone this woman have thought of doing the same thing she did. Have you, if you're without sin, then go ahead and chuck it. And the stone, and what they do, they dropped him. And Jesus in his wonderful wisdom said, woman, where are thine accusers? Neither do I accuse you. Go and sin no more. In other words, go and don't hurt your life anymore. Don't do things that make you hurt. That, for want of a better word. We can be our most difficult people to deal with. We look outside and we want to blame people, conditions, circumstances. But if you take it back your power, you'll realize that you are forming opinions about those thoughts and circumstances. What you meet is important, but the spirit with which you meet it is the determining factor of whether you'll be successful in your life. What comes to you, what comes to me, what comes to all of it, you've heard it, into each light, some rain must fall. The proverb says that the rain falls on the just and the unjust. In other words, this is life. We're here. None of us get out of this without having some things happen that we wish, we hope, we pray, we do anything not to go through. And not to belabor this, if you've heard this before, I'm still working through some. I'm going to tell you, I told the minister when I said I was called to ministry, because you go right to the pastor, and I did a long time ago, I'm going to tell the truth to people. I am never, ever going to try to escape or make myself better than I think I am. And to tell you the truth this morning, I still am working through the loss of a cat that I love so much. My meditation. I've had a lot of cats and a lot of dogs, and I love them all. But this one really, really got to me. And I came to the idea last night that the form of this beloved animal, the form is what I'm missing. The spirit of how we connected inside was what was real. We get so attached to form in this world. We have to have things look a certain way. The spirit of that beloved kitty, the spirit of my beloved father that I miss so much, the spirit of anybody that's ever touched me is still with me. We want to reach out and touch something. That's the egoic part of ourselves that used to seeing things separately. But the energy that flows through each one of us is universal, constant for everyone. It's like a cosmic soup. What are you doing to contribute to that cosmic soup? What energies are you bringing to the thought form that's going to manifest for all of us if we tune into it? You see, I think that the race consciousness And that's a term that also Dr. Joseph Murphy used. The race consciousness can affect us if we don't guard our thinking. I've said before, I never go to sleep with a television on. I can't afford it. Or the radio. I can't afford it because my mind, and while I sleep, I don't know what's being heard and said and what may be taking lodgment in the back of my mind, in the subconscious mind. It may be something that I don't wish to manifest. I guard my mind. As Mary Baker Eddy said, I stand porter at the gate of my mind. So when you guard your mind with due diligence, when you take away those things that we're all heir to, those everyday hurts and frustrations, not the big ones of your life, mind you, just the little ones, you free up energy. You free up you free up the space that you need to walk forward in new life. I say that spirituality is not so much the act of attrition. It is the act of letting things go. You are it. You all are already it. You need to be reminded of that every now and then. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do or pray or chant upon or meditate upon to add one bit more goodness to who you really are right now. You're it. That scares the hell out of some people. When you think that it is really all up to you and the God presence inside you, you have the strength to walk forward in a mighty way. That means you give up pointing fingers at people and saying, this is the cause of my problem. If things were different, if this condition hadn't happened, all that might have contributed, but I'm telling you, you are the author of your divine destiny. Would you listen to the God within you? If you don't, you're going to be a wandering generality rather than a meaningful specific. Think about people who just kind of walk into life and it's like a pinball. They bounce here and they bounce there. This condition makes them do this. And that condition makes them do this. They're zigzagging all over the place. They go to a consultant, they go to a therapist, they say, I don't know what's wrong, nothing works. Because they haven't realized, even in a secular way, they haven't realized and brought together all the disowned parts of themselves, all the things that they'd rather not think about, to be able to walk forward with purpose. It's all right to say, I did that. I learned from it. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm forgiven for it because it was never blamed for it. I have the strength that comes from a new beginning because I affirm it, because I know, because I have, get this, I've forgiven myself. How hard is that to do for folks? Why do we insist? And I said this when I first came to this church. Why is it, and I think some of you know what I mean, have this perverse enjoyment of biting down on a sore tooth? I did it as a kid. I played with a hangnail. It hurts so good. It's the essence, though, of masochism. It's the ego saying, I exist, don't forget me, I give pain, I can give and take away. It's part of a perversity that says, if I remember enough bad things about myself, somehow that makes me good. See, if I go to a church that tells me what a sinner I am, and that Jesus himself had to die because I was so bad, somehow that makes me good. But they never can really tell you in what way. You know what makes you good? Recognizing the good that is in you right now. And releasing everything else that's unlike that which you want to experience. When the day comes that nothing goes forth from me or you that you wouldn't gladly have come back into your experience, you will have arrived. That means that your intention for everything and everyone around you is for good. That you wish no harm, no ill will. I'm telling you, when you do you don't have to worry about things like karma. You don't have to worry about things like cause and effect. People that want to keep score about that, maybe there's a place for it, but when you're walking in the light, when you're on purpose, when each step you take you know is divinely directed, you're walking into your good. And those things will still come into your experience because this is a place where we come, where our soul is expanded through lessons that we learn in order to grow into our godhood. Not a place that we come to be condemned, to be have fingers pointed at us and tell us you're a miserable sinner, worm of the dust. Who wants to hear that unless it's somebody wants to keep biting on that tooth or playing with that hangnail? You see, if I do something and I feel guilty enough, I'm real easy prey to somebody who wants to manipulate that for their own good. And then whose life am I leading? Whose life am I living? What strength is mine? If I place it and project it on a person, a spiritual leader, a politician, whatever it may be, if I say, that's everything that I want to be, what have you done? More than just a compliment, and there's nothing wrong with that. You've divested yourself of power. You are living vicariously through what you're seeing on the external screen in the world. I'm inviting you this morning into real secret of inner strength to take back your power. Where have you given your power away? Have you given it to a relative who said, you'll never be any good at that? A teacher who said that? What rock have you tried to move under your own strength that you haven't asked your Father to help with? You see, it was always that way in the days of Christ Jesus. Always that way. It was almost as if Jesus would have worn a sign on that beautiful robe. How can I help? People just got better in his presence. They were uplifted in his presence. I like to think of Jesus engaged in his full humanity and aware of his full divinity. I like to think he laughed, he cried, we know that, he sweated, he did carpentry, he fished, he did all these. We halo the man so much, we need to take him down off the cross for just a minute and hold his hand, so to speak, and say, he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none others ever known. How many of us are holding that hand this morning? Or how many of us that walk in fear like two steps behind? You remember, I might get politically, but you remember Saddam Hussein. And I just won't pick on him, any despot. But do you remember those men, when you see those clips on CNN or whatever it may be, those men that had the nervous smiles that were walking two steps behind Mr. Hussein? It was as if, I'm doing well, right? I'm okay, right? They were afraid, terrified, because that man could turn around and order them shot on the spot. We act like that sometimes with God. Walking two steps behind. Am I all right? Am I doing okay? Do you still love me? We bring all this human stuff to the divine. There's a reason it's divine. Because it's not of this world. And you claim things that are not of this world when you claim the truth that we talk here today. Truth, as James Dillard Freeman wrote in this book, truth the poet sings. We're all poets in a way. Because we're all writing the script of our life. Now, there may be a bigger script that's determined already. We don't know exactly what that is, but we have free will within it. You know what? We have free will because there's no choice. Think about the irony in that. That's the only choice we really have. Free will is what we have to work with. Choose wisely. There's that sign, they said, and when you're driving down the street in the country, choose this road, choose your road wisely, you're going to be in it for the next 30 miles. Choose the rut you're in. Choose what you want to have in your life right now, today, this morning, because you're defined by your choices. Your greatest power is the power to choose. You can have everything taken away from you, but your decision as to how you're going to face what is yours to face. That connotes a very, very close, direct connection with the divine. Think about that this morning. Think about it when you're thinking about those challenges in your life that come your way. I don't need to beg a reticent God to help deliver me from this. I need to understand why this came my way, what it brings up inside me. Am I looking at it? Am I processing it? Am I not bypassing it? And am I releasing it? You do those things and you won't be carrying like a magnet all this stuff that comes up and you get to the end and you say, I just almost can't face another day. I'm so weighed down. Why? Because the gentle art, and sometimes the difficult art of letting go, is one that we haven't mastered yet. We have to know what to take, to receive. We also have to know what to give and to release. And when those are working in tandem together, life works. And your life's going to work to the extent that you release outmoded, outworn ideas about yourself, claiming your strength, as Charles Fillmore said, knowing the strength of the Almighty animates the very cells of my body continuously. And I agree with that power. It's flowing through you right now. Look at yourself in a mirror. Or if you don't want to do that, and sometimes I sure don't want to, look, feel it on the inside. Stand up, straighten up, and say the very power of the cosmos is in me. The cosmic Christ, whatever you want to call it. This power isn't egoic, no matter what anybody says. It's the power of love. And when you do this, when you love yourself, you're loving the God that's in you. And that love is always going to be present, whether you feel it or not, it's there. And all you have to do is release the concept that you were anything unlike what you really are. You come to this church enough, you tune in here enough, and you're going to find over and over again that we're building strength by accepting the love and giving the love that we are. It expands exponentially, and you can't stop it. It's like trying to put a genie back in the bottle, so to speak. You can't. And the love that is in this place and the love that we celebrate is palpable and alive. It enlivens me and it strengthens me, and I hope that it does you too. God bless you this morning. And so it is. Now comes the time that we are blessed to give and receive, because we know that as we give, we receive, and with the attitude that we give, we also attract or repel abundance. Give with a merry heart, as it says, bring ye the tithes into the storehouse, and see if I will not pour out a blessing where there's not room enough to contain it. As Javier comes forward right now, I ask you to give the best gift of which you're able, knowing that you are furthering the work of unity of burden. Thank you. And for those of you who are tuning in, again, I'll mention, please press your PayPal button. If you're blessed by this broadcast, and many of you say you are, if all of you tuning in would just give $1, can you imagine what we would have? I so appreciate your presence. Press that PayPal button, or if you prefer to send your check to Unity of Burden, P.O. Box 1973, Boerne, Texas 78006. You'll be blessed.
Freely I have received, freely I give. Thy love through me blesses all that I am, all that I give and receive.
And together we say, Divine
love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I send it forth with my blessings and my love.
So it is one quick thing. Next week, I will have a Sunday off, as it is the way every fifth month Sunday. Why am I saying this? Every Sunday with 5 months, that works. Every month with 5 Sundays. You all are nice enough to give me that time off. We're going to have a wonderful speaker that has spoken at other Unity churches, Paula Cole. I know you will make her welcome. And I'm going to miss you. I will tune in at some point. Missing a Sunday feels very strange to me, but I'll be back. And I ask you to give her a great big Unity of Burden welcome, and I'll be back the week after. Thank you.
Let's do this.
between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Together we stand and join hands if we feel comfortable.
We always say it.